Hello everybody, this is Bill McFadden from TonePure.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at a piano reduction of the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme. I've always been curious as to the chords that John Williams used, and we'll get into that in this video. First we'll hear the brass alone, and then after that we'll get into the piano reduction. Next, let's listen to the piano reduction of the brass. Many people don't know that John Williams was an accomplished jazz pianist before he became a film composer. And let's go ahead and just play the first measure or so. So you hear those two chords there. The first one is a B flat suspended fourth with no fifth. And then the second one, because here's the fourth of the, there's your fourth right there. And then then after that, we see G flat is added on, and we have another E flat added up here. So basically what you have is an E minor chord. If you just take this bottom chord and go up by inversions, there's your E flat minor, and then it has the G flat in the bass, as we see right here. There's your bass note, and then we get the same thing again here in measure 2, and in measure 3 we have, let's play measure 3. So we have an A, an E flat, which is basically an A with omitting the third and flatting the 5, because here's your fifth, so you're flatting the 5, there's no third in the chord. And then the tricky chord comes right after that, right in this beat here. So we have A, B flat, E flat, and then we have a G flat up here. So if I pull this G flat down an octave, we get this. And then if I do an inversion, move the A up an octave, we get this. And then if I look at what that is, we have so here's a B major chord. If we move the third up to the fourth, and move the fifth up a half tone, then we actually have a B flat major suspended 4 sharp 5. So that's where we get this chord here. And of course it's an inversion of that because the A is on the bass. And then we see the same thing again here in measure 4 and 5. And then going to measure 6, we have this chord here. We have an A in the bass, E flat, the G is held over, and so this is basically an A7 with a flat 5 without the third. So here's the 5. This would be an A7. So without the third, we get that. And then if we flat the 5, we get that. And then that's followed by the A again with the B flat and the E flat, the G held over. So again, we see the reoccurrence of the B flat major suspended 4 sharp 5, which we saw over here. Okay, then as we move along in measure 8, this chord right here, we have the B natural, the G held over. That's basically an inversion of G with the B in the bass. And then we go from that, then we sharp the D, and that basically gives you a B augmented. Here's a B major, and then if you augment the fifth, you get that. And then we have a D flat, right here we have the D flat, the F and the G, which is basically a D flat major, because if I do the major chord and then I flat the fifth, we get that. And so we're up to measure 8, 9 and 10 are just melody notes. And then as we continue on, in measure 11 and 12, we have melody. So there we have a couple of chords, and the first one, it's really, if I lower the E flat to D, we just have a G, omit the 3, and then if we sharp the 5, we have that. And then the next chord, we just have the G and the D, so we just have a G, omit 3. And then in measure 14, let's listen to that. So we see we have a lot of chords in measure 14 and 15. So let's take a look at this chord down here. We have an E, G sharp, C sharp, and then in the treble we have a F flat. So we're just doubling the E. So these are our primary notes, and then if we do inversions, we see we have a C sharp minor, and then of course that's over the E. And then we have the same thing going on in the next chord over here. It's the C sharp minor, actually with the E in the bass as well. Notice we have in the treble clef the C sharp, E natural, G sharp, and C sharp again. And we're going from that, the C sharp in octaves, and then we're getting a C natural. So that's a C augmented, because here's your C, and then if you augment the fifth, you get that. And then the next chord is actually an E6 chord, and you can see that because you have A flat, C sharp in the treble, and then you have B natural, G sharp, an E in the bass. So there's an E major, and there's the sixth of the E chord, and the A flat is doubled. So we actually have an E sixth, and then the next chord in the treble we have the B flat, the G flat, the E flat, the B flat, and the G flat. So that's an E flat minor. So after the E flat minor with the G flat in the bass, the next chord we're just going to A natural from the B flat, just lower to semitone, and you know in both hands, and now you have an E flat minor with a flatted fifth, because here's your E flat minor, you flat the 5, you get that, and then we're back to the E flat minor over G flat, and then we have a chord here, F sharp in the bass, B natural, C sharp, F sharp, and if you look at that, it's basically a B chord with the F sharp in the bass. And then the next chord after that, we have a C natural, we still have the G flat, and then we have the B flat, and then in the treble we have the E flat. So that's, if I bring this note down, it's a C, sometimes a half diminished is referred to as. There would be a C minor 7, and we're just taking the fifth and flatting it. So C minor 7 flat 5. And then after that we go to this chord here. So we have basically a C in octaves, followed by the, so we have a C minor flat 5. So there's your C minor, there's C minor flat 5. And then after that, we have the, and we're just down to the G in octaves. And then the next chord we see over here is the chord we've seen before. And then also this chord we saw earlier, the B flat major 7 suspended 4 sharp 5. And then that repeats again, which we looked at earlier. And then in measure 19, we have, it's basically an E flat minor without the 5. There's the 5, there's without it. And then after that, we go to the E minor. We have the B flat, and then the bass. So that's just basically an E flat minor. And then in measure 20, we have, which is a G minor in tenths, using the 10th. And then we have, so all notes of the G minor chord. And then we're back to, well, actually not back to, now we see an A flat with omitting the 3. And then we go to this chord right here in the bass. And then we have an F up here. So basically we have a G minor 7 with a flat 5. There's your 7th there. Then up here we have the flat 5, because there's your 5. Followed by, then he moves, in the bass he moves the F up to the G, and then we have, So those are just notes of the G minor chord with a G in the bass. Then C chord omit the 3. C sharp chord omit the 3. And the last chord's interesting. In the treble we have so that's the notes of the E minor chord with the G flat in the bass. And then you also have a G natural in the bass. So we have some dissonance there. So that's primarily what we have is an E minor with a G in the bass for dissonance. So this is Bill McFadden from Tone Pure Music. I hope you enjoyed the video and the chord analysis. So, Bill McFadden signing off.